Hi! Today we're gonna make fried chicken. It's pretty simple, but it's not any fried chicken, it's the world famous my grandmother's fried chicken. It puts all those other chains to shame, trust me. Now, this is not just, well, my grandmother, she's my Bubbie, because she's my Jewish Eastern European grandmother, and that's what you call your grandmother, you call her Bubbie. So, it's pretty simple, but there's just something about it that is just so much better than any other fried chicken you have. Now, Eastern Europeans should be pretty good at this, because if you've ever tried Eastern European cuisine, like gone to a Hungarian restaurant or something like that, everything's pretty heavy and pretty greasy. So, basically what I started with here is we just have the chicken that I washed and basically put some pepper, some salt, and some garlic on it. And then what I did is I put it in the fridge, and you want to leave it overnight so it can just sort of, you know, soak in the flavors and such, especially with the salt. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't leave it overnight, I just prepared it now, but that's what you should do. You should do it the night before because that's just the better way to do it. But anyway, it should still taste okay this way. So, one side, and of course do any chicken you want, whether you want it to be breasts or thighs or drumsticks. I just have 4 drumsticks here and 3 thighs. So, so that's all ready, and then basically, after you have your chicken all ready, you have a plate of breadcrumbs. You have some beat eggs here, okay? Now, if you want to know quantities, I would basically say 1 egg per 3 pieces of chicken. And again, that's on an average size, because obviously these pieces of chicken are pretty small. They're not, you know, jumbo size or anything like that. So I just put 3 eggs, you know, even though I only have 7 pieces total, but whatever. No big deal. Okay, and the other thing you need is some flour. I have a cup of flour here. And a sort of, you know, like little plastic bag like this. And I'll get to that in a moment. And of course, the evil star of the show, which is the vegetable oil. And oh my, are we going to use a lot of this. So, basically, what you do first is you take your chicken and you put it in the bag of flour. So we're going to take flour, put it in, yum 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 yum. Oh my God, what was I even thinking? I'm an idiot. I apologize. This is greasy food. I'm going to make a mess myself. So, just going to put on my little apron here. Na 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 fried chicken. Na 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 na. What we're going to actually do first, before we get that stuff, is let's make sure it's ready to fry. So basically, what you want to do is put your heat on pretty high. I mean, you know, that's what deep frying is. You got to have a pretty high heat. Okay, and now. Yeah, that's a lot of oil. Now, as ridiculous as it may seem, and for you silly people that want to make some healthy version of fried chicken, it ain't happening. If you're making fried chicken, make fried chicken. So don't do this like, I'm not going to put as much oil. It's like, you got it, okay? If you want to truly deep fry it properly and not burn it or, you know, have an imbalance of cooked on either side. And the idea is that you want it so that the piece of chicken is pretty much, you know, the bottom half is covered under oil. So now what we do is, like I said, let's go back to the bag. So basically you take your chicken, and yeah, that's the idea. So you see the whole purpose behind the bag. See, there we go. We got our floured covered chicken. So you can obviously see where this is going. You basically just take a piece of chicken one at a time, dip it in the egg, and then you roll it around in the breadcrumbs. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Now, I know you won't be able to smell it or taste it, but I think the main thing that separates this fried chicken from other sort of mainstream fast foods and such is that the chicken is just so juicy. it's not just that, yes, we all love the crispy skin, that's obviously the main point of fried chicken that makes it so attractive, but there's just something about when you do it right this way, it's like, even if you feel like you overcooked it, when you bite past that skin into the chicken, it's just like literally squirts out. It is so juicy. So there we go. So you can take a look here. So here's our plate of the fried chicken before it's cooked. So it still looks rather lovely. And again, very simple. Pretty much when you put the chicken in first, okay, leave it for about 6 to 7 minutes. Again, depending on the size of the chicken. Chicken this sort of small and average, I'd say 6 minutes. For one side. And on the first side, what you want to do is you want to put the cover on for the first 6 minutes, okay? And then when you turn it over to put it for the second side, then you leave the cover off. Now, how do you know that one side is done? Well, generally, what she would always say is, it has to be red, it has to be red. So that's generally what we look for, is you want to look like a sort of, you know, a red crispness on the side. That'll tell you that it should be pretty much done. Okay, so. Yeah, hello. Hello. Oh, the oil's talking to me. Okay, so I think we're ready. Shall we? Love that sound. Okay, so we've had it for a bit here. Now, oh dear. I seem to have burnt it. What I would say is put it close to high heat to get it going, and then once you put the chicken in, definitely put it down to about medium heat. So it's obviously a step. So let's try round 2, shall we? So now that we have the heat at the right optimum level, let's put the thighs in. Okay. Alright, so let's see how these guys are doing. So there you go. Now that's what the fried chicken should look like. See that? Nice and crisp and golden. But you know what? I'm just going to leave it on that side just a bit longer. Because like I said, you want to have a little bit of redness to it. Okay. Alright. Looking pretty good. So I think we're done here. Beautiful. So as before, we take our plates with some paper towel. Beautiful. Absolutely. If I may say so myself. As you can see, here's an example of how not to do it, because simply, really, the main mistake I did was right from the beginning. I just had the heat on way too high, and it burned almost instantly. And here is how to do it. So we see our golden pieces. So, we'll just cover up the burnt ones. With this nice crispy chicken, eh? Nice and crispy. Just like my mama used to make, eh? Or my grandmother, my Bubbie.